What's poppin', everybody? This is Sabrel24. So Forbidden Light is going to be coming in around a week, our latest set, and I'm going to tell you guys what the best cards are from this set. This won't be a full set review, just the best cards. I'm going to mention some of my favorite cards, even if they're not that good, and we're going to be going over new cards as well. As many people suspected, the Ultra Forces, alternate type cards, and a lot of new cards from that shit are bundled in this set. So since I didn't cover them in the previous set review, we're going to be going over them too. So some good cards. We're going to start with Alolan Executor. Alright, so this card possibly won't be that amazing in standard, but in expanded, since there's shit like uh, Battle Compressor and more cards that help you put shit in the discard pile, you can put a bunch of energies there and basically set it up so you can use Tropical Shake, which does 20 damage for, well, 20 damage and 20 damage more for each basic energy in the discard pile. So basically what you do is you put like 4 or 5 energies and you do 120 for 1. It's not bad doing 120 for only 1 grass energy. This is a pretty big Pokemon, 160 HP for just the stage 1. So, you know, it might be something. Might not be as good, as broken as maybe Night March, but it's one of those kind of strategies, so maybe something to think about. Next up, we got fucking Feromasa, this this Pokemon. So this little martial art bug princess ultra beast is kind of good. With 110 HP, no retreat cost, it can start attacking immediately with high jump kick, do 20. You can use this with any energy too. And later on, when you put 3 energies on, White Ray does 90 damage, pretty solid. But if you have only 1 prize card remaining, it's going to do 180 damage for 3 costless. And that's pretty high. So if you're down to 1 prize, you basically use this. You're definitely pushing for game. It's quite powerful. Won't be active all the time, but I mean, 3 for 90 is decent enough too. So maybe in grass decks, you want to run a basic Pokemon, that kind of thing. It's a good candidate. Nice shit. Right. Next up, we got Alolan Marowak. Uh, Come on, click. Yeah, I usually do this on Cerebi, but we have to do this on Bulbapedia now. So Alolan Marowak is another pretty solid Pokemon. It's got 2 solid attacks. Limbo. Basically, you search your deck for 2 basic energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon any way you like. This is costless. Since this is a stage 1, it won't be as fast as if it was a basic Pokemon, but it's not really as slow. It's not really that too late to start doing this. You don't need to attach an energy to use this attack, and it's some good energy acceleration from the deck. Any energy you can grab. It's not bad. But I think mostly this Pokemon is probably going to be used for Alolan Club. Basically, this attack for 1 DC, you do 20 times the number of all Alolan Pokemon you have in play. So with 6 guys on the bench, 6 Alolan Pokemon, we have a lot of basic Alolan Pokemon we can use. You can do 120 for 2 energies or 1 DCE. So that's another decent, pretty good damage for the energy you're paying attack. 120 HP, fire, good coverage. Should kill Golisopod GX and other grass Pokemon like Leafeon GX and Decided Eye. So another decent Pokemon, I guess. Decent Pokemon here and there that can do some shit. Next up, we got Heatran. This is one of the alternate type Pokemon. This basically does the same thing as the Metal Heatran, but for fire. This is fire type. Boiling Impact 130, and you discard 2 energy, and Guard Press does 30, and you're going to take 30 less next turn. Good enough basic Pokemon. I mean, I guess I might use it in things like Emboar, since it does more damage than Reshiram in Expanded. I might use it, but I'm not really sure what it's going to do in Standard. If you can accelerate fire energy, it's a nice little basic Pokemon. The Metal Heatran doesn't really do much since the one basic metal Pokemon you're going to run, people just use the Solgaleo Prism, it's just better. But this being fire might be better. So good enough Pokemon too, one of the Ultra Force cards here. Next up we got, well, not Breaks and Delphox. Delphox is what we got. So this Pokemon might not be too hot, but it's something that I really like. It's definitely not useless. So it's a 150 HP stage 2 Pokemon. Delphox, the fire starter from X and Y, cool as fuck. It's got two good things. Mystical Torch, not Magical Torch. So Mystical Torch, once during your turn, you may leave your opponent's active Pokemon burned. So this is basically 20 free damage. Since with the new burn mechanics, they instantly get the damage. It's basically 20, man, I keep saying twin, 20 free damage on the active Pokemon. So if you have a couple of these, you won't really get the plus. Put a lot of damage on bench Pokemon and shit since it's the burn condition, has to be on the active. But 20 free damage is still pretty good. And Fire Spin does 150 for 4. You discard 2 energies on this Pokemon, but it's good damage. It's a workable attack. In conjunction with a Choice Band and the burn, you can basically do 200 damage on your own without any support. So maybe with a good partner, this card can be good. I like it very much because it's Delphox. Great art too. Might not be the hottest thing, but it's a cool card for me. The ability definitely is good, and the attack has potential. All right, so next up, we're going to go with the Palkia GX. This isn't necessarily a great card. I mean, it actually looks really nice. This is the first time I'm seeing the full art. Looks very, very good. So this card isn't that great, but it is an Ultra Force alternate type card. 180 HP, 3 retreat, not that great GX Pokemon. And has spatial control, move any number of energy from your bench Pokemon to this Pokemon. Not that good. I guess you can do this to move around energies, bring it to this guy, but it'd actually be better if it did damage and then you put the energy on the bench. But anyway, Hydro Pressure is probably the best thing on this dude. It's basically a Hydro Pump style of attack. You do 60 damage for 3, but for each water energy, you do 20 more. So basically, if you have 3 water energies on to meet the attack cost, Hydro Pressure, you're doing 120 for 3. And it's going to go, it gets stronger as you put energies on. So it's better than Keldio's attack, and it's not really a shit attack, honestly, if you use this maybe in Blastos and shit, but there are better Pokemon. And Zero Vanish GX, it's not bad, but it's not great either. It does 150 for 5. That's a big cost. And you shuffle all energy from each of your opponent's Pokemon into their deck. If they have a bunch of Pokemon with energies around and you do this, it can be pretty devastating. But I mean, if they're doing stuff like this, you should be in a shit situation, honestly. And I mean, they probably attacked with the active of the previous turn, so I don't know. I mean, it's something, but it's definitely not as good as Dialga GX's attack, but it's not useless. It's very good, very cool looking Pokemon, I'm not gonna lie. Very beautiful art. Yeah, so that's the best thing about it. So another Ultra Force card that we're getting in Forbidden Light. Won't be the greatest, but it's cool enough. Next up, we got the Greninja line, and I'm gonna have to talk about this guy too. So Frogadier and Greninja GX, basically they act like the Crobat line from Phantom Forces, if you guys remember that shit, or maybe if you weren't playing. So basically when you evolve into Frogadier, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. That's it, that's what it does. And next up, Greninja, what it does is when it evolves, you put 3 damage counters. That's what you do. So yeah, like Golbat and the Crobat line. So those Pokemon didn't really do stuff in the beginning, but then later on they got paired up with Wobbuffet and Landora CX, and they were kind of good. You basically put a lot of damage on the board, just in the form of an ability, and you set up Pokemon for KOs. You help with attacks like Wobbuffet's attacks and shit. So that extra damage is something. I feel like this Pokemon might see play, might do stuff. Um, the other stuff about it isn't really that special. Haze Slash is just 110 for 3, and you can put this guy back in the deck. You have the option to do that. That can't be something that can come up. Putting up your own Pokemon back into the deck, removing damage counters and shit can't be something if you time it right. The damage isn't the greatest, especially for stage 2, but you also have that effect. Shadowy Hunter GX. This used to be Shadow Assassin and they changed it for some reason. But yeah, it's basically a 130 snipe. That's it. It's not useless, but it's not the greatest thing in the world. Entei does 150 and it's a basic Pokemon. You can't hit the active, but it's still something. So not useless, but not really outstanding. Basically, the attacks are just going to be like complementary stuff if you use this, and you run water energy to attack with it as well. You're mainly going to use this for the ability, and then maybe if you can attack, you have the option to do that. He can attack. Its stats aren't that amazing too. 230 HP for a stage 2, not that good, and 2 retreat. If it had at least like 3 retreat, since it's Greninja and it was frail too, maybe okay. But yeah, Shuriken Flurry, definitely a good ability. These guys might be used in conjunction with other Pokemon. They might even be used with Buzzhole GX, who knows, like the Landora's deck back then. I'm not sure if that can stand the test of time. That can be something. But yeah, uh, good enough Pokemon, I guess. It might see play, it might not. 230 HP isn't that good, like I've said. You might say Gardevoir has that, but Gardevoir is broken. That's the difference. Okay, so spend enough time on you. One of the better GXs you might want to get. Next up, we got the fossil Pokemon. I guess I'm going to talk about them even though they're not that great. First up is Aurorus. Uh, It has good enough HP, I guess, but since it's a fossil, I expected more. Blizzard Burn, it is 150 for 4, not bad, I guess. The special thing about it is maybe Frost Wall. It does 50 for 3, that's not that good, but you block damage from evolution Pokemon. Most Pokemon used these days are evolution GX Pokemon, so it's going to block them. So not bad. We do get some fossil support cards in here too, like with Ultra Prism. They have some shit. Not sure if they're going to do anything, but we have some shit. Gonna talk about it. So this is Aurorus. And next up, we're gonna talk about Volcanion. One of the best cards here for sure. One of the Prism Pokemon. All around great Pokemon this card. So great HP since it's a Prism card, 160. That gets standard. Jet Geyser is a good little ability. We don't really see much anymore. We used to see this all the time back then, but now we don't see this as much. It's basically an ability warp point, but you have to discard a water energy. So it has that cost, but it's good on a basic Pokemon to have this still. You basically discard a water energy and your opponent has to switch his Pokemon with one of their bench Pokemon. They get to choose, but it's still powerful. It's disruption. Maybe they don't want to do that. Maybe you force them to do something they don't want to do. And Sauna Blast, very good attack as well. This basically makes Kyurem from Black and White, Next Destinies, whatever the hell it came out. I think it was Black and White. But the one that does great spread damage with 3 energies, 30 to everybody, makes it kind of obsolete. This Pokemon is going to do 20 damage to all of your opponent's bench Pokemon, but does 100 to the active. So it's very good damage. If you use this, if you play an expanded and you run things like Blastoise, this is a great tech to have since it's a Prism card, 160 HP. Sauna Blast is very good. It basically replaces Kyurem, like I've said. In Water decks, we've got Aqua Patch these days too. Maybe you want to use this in your Alola Ninetales deck, or it might actually be a good Pokemon in things like Glaceon GX, since Glaceon can spread with this attack too. You do this a couple of times, then you use this guy. You might be getting some knockouts or setting up for knockouts too. So I think it's a very good Pokemon. I definitely see it. I think it's a good choice to be used in Glaceon GX. Definitely a great card in a Blastoise decks and expanded, and in water decks in general. Very good water Pokemon. Good shit. Alright, next up, we gotta talk about this Magnezone, of course. So, this is the type, lightning type Ultra Force equivalent for the Magnezone and Ultra Prism. And this card is basically gonna replace the Lightning Magnezone from Breakthrough that we got. It basically does the same thing as that guy. You bring this guy out and you accelerate lightning energies. Break the rules, attach as many as you like. So eventually, Breakthrough is going to get rotated out and we are going to lose the Breakthrough Magnezone. This is much better since it's newer. 150 HP. Better, the retreat is better, although we can't use Heavy Ball to search it, this guy now. And it definitely has a better attack. Costs 4 energy, but you do 130 damage. This is very good. You can't use Zap Cannon next turn, but you don't discard anything either. Very, very good Pokemon. I definitely see this, well, I'm not sure if it's going to see play, but I'm possibly going to use it with Rayquaza since I'm already doing this. If we get any other broken uh, lightning Pokemon like that act like Rayquaza and shit, this Pokemon might be used with them. Metal Pokemon really just have everything. I don't see this guy replacing the Metal Magnezone and Duskmane and necrozma because they're very good. But who knows? If you want to accelerate lightning energies, this is your guy. Another Ultra Force card. Very, very good. Very, very nice card to get from this set. All right. Next, we're going to talk about, well, there's the Pixies and Rotom. So, Circuity True. Okay, so a lot of new cards from the Ultra Forces set, as I imagined. So, Xurkitree, this is the basic one. Uh, Looks kind of cool. So 120 HP, only one retreat, so its stats are good. It has a metal resistance too. Got Dazzle Blast, 1 for 20, and your opponent's active Pokemon is not confused. This is very, very nice. So yeah, good fast damage for 1 energy and also confuses the opponent. Very, very good. So this makes Zapdos from Roar and Skies kind of useless. And Cablegram, wow, for 3 energies, does 100 damage, and if you have exactly 3 prize cards remaining, your opponent's active Pokemon is not paralyzed. So this is a great kind of add-on effect too. 100 damage for 3 is very, very solid. And if you have 3 prizes, instant paralysis is very good. So another great lightning basic tech Pokemon. We have so many options. Uh, the Xurkitree GX is also great. This card is also very good. So for people like me that run things like Radios and Magnezone and all these type of lightning decks, so many techs, so many great cards to choose from. This is another very good card. Very, very good card to consider. Okay, and I'm gonna talk about the other Ultra Forces cards, man. So yeah, this is Rotom. Basically acts like the Rotom from Ultra Prism, but it's a psychic dude. It's going to do Plasma Slice, 3 energy attack for 120, and you can attack next turn. If you have 9 or more tool cards, you can do this for free. Only 7 HP, not that great, but you know, when they fix the bug shit with Rotoms, I think they might have done that already. You know, the Rotom kind of deck and expanded might not be too bad. You use Battle Compressors, you put a million tools over there, and then you have a bunch of Pokemon that can attack for free. Basically, that's it. So now we have the Psychic option too. Alright, and now for the legendary DP trio. We got Uxie, first of all. Memory Skip. These fucking ads, man. Anyway, you choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon, and that Pokemon can use that attack, and you do 1 for 30. So, this type of thing, it's been something that a lot of Pokemon have in the past. I don't think we see it as much, but it is something. So basically, if your opponent only has 1 attack, the Pokemon only has 1 attack, your opponent, it's like you block them from attacking. That's what you do. This is something that can be played around easily, but it's still something. It can attack for 1 energy, 30, not bad. The only problem is the HP. 60 HP is just too low. I don't see this doing much. And yeah, that's basically it. Uxie. Let's see if the other Pixies are going to be better. Oh my god. So Mesprit. So 70 HP, still bad, but I guess it's an improvement. Has an ability, if you have a Zelf in play, your opponent's Pokemon in play have no resistance. Okay, that's not that amazing of an effect if you have Azelf down. And Mind Splash, it focuses you on your bench. This attack does 70 damage. So yeah, 50 more, so 70 for a DC. Not bad, I guess. I mean, if you're going to use this kind of strategy, the Reggie trio is better, having those guys around and do shit. But, I mean, I guess you can use the Pixie trio too. If only it gave you better effects. Their HP isn't that good either, that's the problem. And the last guy, Azelf, let's see what you do. 60 HP as well, Psychic Abduction. You can use this attack only if you go second, and only on your first turn. Wow, shuffle one of your opponent's bench Pokemon and all cards attached to their deck. So a powerful disruption ability, but it's very limited. They limit it a lot with all these conditions. Not sure if it's going to be something. I guess if your opponent opened up with an active and they set up their bench, they have guys there, and you open with this, and uh, you can use the attack, but it's not that great. And Hypnoblast, just 10 for 1, and sleep. Okay, so more collector's cards, I'm pretty sure. Oh well. Next up, Meowstic. So this Pokemon doesn't really do anything. It just has a psychic attack, like all the other, like Espeon GX, other psychic Pokemon. It's a quicker one, but it's gonna do basically this. If your opponent has a lot of energies on, you do more damage. Stage 1 Pokemon might be something. Gimmick stuff next. Aegislash. This is 100% gimmick shit. Uh, this guy basically tickling knockout. You attack. If you during your opponent's next turn you do this, the defending Pokemon is knocked out. Okay, that didn't make any sense. During your next turn, if the defending Pokemon is damaged by an attack, it will be knocked out. So basically, you use this attack, 1 energy attack, and the next turn, if you do damage, it dies. So Draining Blade isn't that good and it needs 3 energy, so I'm not sure if you're going to use that attack. But if you attack with somebody else, it is dead. So it's like you're setting up for a 2-hit knockout. It's a gimmick, probably won't work, but it's something interesting, I suppose. Okay, now for the broken stuff, the main shit. Malamar. This might be the best card in this set because of its ability. It's going to be very, very hot with what it can do. Psychic Recharge. Basically, once during your turn, you can attach a Psychic Energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. So this is basically like Bronzong from Phantom Forces, more famously Electric's Dynamotor, other Pokemon in the past like Blaziken, perhaps Typhlosion, other types of these Pokemon that grab energies from the discard pile provide that energy acceleration. Very, very good. This is a stage 1 Pokemon, so it's going to be quick. The attack doesn't really matter, but I guess you can do 60 if you want to. But there's a lot of very, very good psychic Pokemon this can power up, and there's even a broken Pokemon in this set, you probably know, Ultra Necrozma GX. We're going to cover that for sure. And this card is basically going to make a whole new deck. It's going to bring back the Ray Ill strategy, and the Ultra Necrozma GX Malamar deck, I feel it's going to be a very strong deck. They have some problems like bench limitation and all these sort of tactics that might hinder them, but the deck can get 1-hit knockouts on basically anything. Any GX Pokemon, stage 2 included, it can easily get 1-hit knockouts. In standard, it has a lot less competition. Made a whole video talking about this deck, but it's definitely a very good card. You probably want to get this card. It's going to be a great deck, man. Great card, Malamar, a bunch of these. You can power up all sorts of psychic attackers. One of the best cards for sure. Alright, and next up, Dragalge. So this dude with Poison Point, it's gonna poison the opponent if it attacks this Pokemon. And Twister, decent enough attack, I guess, for 2 energies. You do 60 and you flip 2 coins. For each head, you discard an energy. If both of them are tails, it doesn't do anything. But on a 50-50 chance shit, you should do 60 and discard an energy. So it's kind of good. The ability instant poisons the opponent. Maybe you want to use this with survivors and shit from Burning Shadows, and you might have a poison deck here. Not bad, not bad. Alright, next up we got Hoopa. This is from, I believe, Ultra Forces 2. Must be an exclusive card. I think, I'm not sure. Hyperspace Ring. You search your deck for 2 item cards, review them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Very good opening Pokemon with this. Instantly grabbing item cards like this might be something. You might even use this in the Malamar deck I've mentioned, since it's a Psychic Pokemon. Use the Psychic Energies, help you set up. Cybolt just does 10 for 1 with the effect of paralysis if you get hits. But the first attack is very good. Grabbing item cards like that. Very, very nice. I mean, it's from the deck, not from the discard pile, so I'm not sure if it can act like Sableye. But it's definitely a great Pokemon. Might do some shit. Next up, we got this Poipole Ultra Beast that can evolve. So this is from Ultra Sun and Moon, the new games, and this is from Ultra Forces 2. Split poison the opponent, and if this Pokemon is knocked out, your opponent can't take any prizes, but it doesn't do any damage. Okay, interesting. But the main guy is going to be Nagananandel. Nagananadel, this is how you say it. This new Ultra Beast GX Pokemon. So this is an Ultra Force card as well. Beast Raid does 20 damage for each of your Ultra Beasts in play. So yeah, this is a very good attack too. So you're going to fill your bench with Ultra Beasts, and you can basically do 120 for 1 energy if you fill your bench with Ultra Beasts. Very, very strong, if you ask me. Stage 1 GX Pokemon too. Jet Needle, 110 for 3, I guess if you want a conventional attack. Not going to be affected by weaknesses or resistances, so that kind of sucks, the weakness part. And Stinger GX, both players shuffle their prize cards into their deck, then each player sets up the top 3 cards of the deck face down as their prizes. Wow, so this does some prize shit, breaks the rules again. So if you use this early, when you guys have like 6 prizes and shit, or more than 3 prizes basically, you basically set up the game so that both of you have 3 prizes left. So there's a lot of type of interactions you can do with this. We have N as well, and we might not have him for long, but it's definitely something. Obviously, if you use this when your opponent didn't take any prizes, you help him out as well. But then again, it's fair because if you didn't take any prizes, you also set up the game for 3 prizes. So this is kind of going to be like the video game where you play the regular trainers and you play with 3 prizes instead of with 4 prizes. So it's definitely something, this GX attack. It's going to have all sorts of shit associated with it. That's all I can say. It's a good Pokemon though, just for the first attack. Right. So next up we got some more Ultra Force type Pokemon. You got Torterra. This card looks really cool as a fighting Pokemon. I wish it was better. I wish at least you could use the attack Kika Drain with a DCE and Earthquake too. It was DCE compatible. I can't believe I'm saying this, but yeah, just so I can maybe use this on the Unleashed. Torterra, heal damage, tank Pokemon. It's cool, I like it. One of my favorite cards here, but probably won't do shit. And then you got Infernape too. This does basically the same burn shit, but it's fighting type, like the Infernape from Ultra Forces. It's probably worse because if you're going to use burn Pokemon, they're probably going to be fire, so maybe you want the Infernape to be fire, so it can attack too. So I don't know how good these cards are going to be, but yeah. You got Garchomp. This might be one of the better type Pokemon. Since it's fighting, you can use strong energy with this guy now. It's not dragon, so it's gonna do more damage. Help you get knockouts on stage 2 GX Pokemon too if you use the Cynthia Lucario combo. Good card with Royal Blades. And I mean, I guess the Dragon Garchomp uses fighting energy too, so you can use this with Lucario anyway, but the fighting type can be something, especially because fighting can hit Zoroark GX for weakness, so maybe you can get knockouts on that dude without relying so much on the Cynthia combo, whereas the Dragon Garchomp doesn't really have shit. They get the fucking bonus from Tavares Stadium, but that's fucking nothing compared to taking advantage of weakness. So this might be better. It's weak to grass though, so yeah. I think this just makes gives you more type coverage. Maybe you can use both the dragon and the ground one here, since the fighting one, since they both use fighting energies anyway. You get that little type variation. Maybe if you go up against Gardevoir, you're not as vulnerable against them. And if you go up against Zoroark GX and other dark Pokemon, you know you have that type coverage. So it's a very good card. You should definitely mix it up with the Dragon Garchomp, or use this entirely altogether if you're using Garchomp. Right. Next up we got Tyrantrum. This Pokemon probably won't be that good, but it's a fossil. I guess I might as well talk about it. So 160 HP fossil Pokemon, Tyrannical Heart. As long as you have more Pokemon in play than your opponent, as long as you don't have more, it does 60 more damage. And it takes less. Okay, so the way I read that on Cerebi was different. It seems that it doesn't get a negative effect if you have a bigger bench than your opponent. On Cerebi, that's what it said. So basically, if you have less Pokemon to play than your opponent, you always do 60 more damage. And this guy takes 30 more damage, 30 less damage. So that's good. Crunch, it's going to do 160 this way. And always discarding an energy on the opponent, active Pokemon, is nice. Fighting Pokemon, so you can use strong energy too. With this effect, Choice Band and strong energies, you might be able to get one-hit knockouts. Not bad. So it's much better than when I read this on Cerebi. They had the wrong effect. Okay. So next up, we're going to talk about the Zygarde. Only the big ones. This guy. So this Zygarde, basic fighting Pokemon, good 130 HP. If you use your GX attack, basically it does 120 for 3. So it might be a good tech Pokemon, like the other basic legendaries. And the main guy, Zygarde GX. This Pokemon is very big. Just a basic Pokemon, 200 HP. Already that's good. And Cell Connector does 50 damage for a DC, and you attach 2 fighting energy cards from your discard pile to this Pokemon. So you can attach it anywhere, but you basically help yourself to use Lance Wrath, which isn't a great attack for 4 energy 130, but Verdict GX is a solid attack. It does 150 for 4, and you prevent all damage under this Pokemon. With the Bony Supporter that I'm going to mention, you might be able to use your Verdict GX attack multiple times per game. So that might be a thing. I'm not sure if this is better than Zygarde EX, but eventually it might replace it. The HP is better, and Cell Connector isn't a useless attack, I guess, helping this guy power up quickly. But I'm not sure. Maybe this will see play alongside Buzzwole GX, but I don't think it's going to be the main focus. One of the GX attacks to get, I guess. There's not a lot of great GX cards in this set. I mean, I guess if you consider they have Ultra Prism shit too, Ultra Forces cards too. But anyway, it's a GX Pokemon. So one very good card, one of the best cards for sure in this deck, in this set, Diancie Prism. So 120 HP isn't that great, and the attack isn't that amazing either. I guess it can heal mass damage from your bench guys. But basically, if you have this Pokemon down, it basically acts like 2 Regirock EX. Your fighting Pokemon are going to do 20 more damage to your opponent. So fighting Pokemon even getting more extra damage like that, free damage for no reason. This is going to make Buzzwole GX even better. Helps Lycanroc GX amazingly too. It helps that guy a lot, man. I can't wait. And all fighting Pokemon basically, it's a great help. Even if you get this effect for a little while, and maybe if your opponent kills it, then you can't get it back from the lost zone. But even if you get the effect for a little while, it's very strong. 20 free damage, very good. 100% the Prism card you're going to be using in fighting decks, for sure. Lycanroc. Okay, so this guy, basically, stage 1, is just going to do 20 more damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So if they have a full bench, you can do 120 and shit, I guess. Something, I suppose. Fighting tech. Yveltal GX. I guess I'm going to talk about this since it's a GX card. But it isn't a very good card. Only Absorb Vitality is a little bit decent because you can attack immediately and heal, I guess. But he's not a very good Pokemon. Even Yveltal EX is better, if you ask me. as long as that guy is around. If you're going to use Yveltal, you use that. Sonic Evil isn't very good, since it can't even hit for weakness, for fuck's sake. You can't use any energy, but it's not good. Doom Count GX, your opponent needs to have exactly 4 damage counters and is knocked out. At least you can use it for 1 energy, but it might be something, I guess, but there are just so many better Dark Pokemon, so many better Dark GX and EX Pokemon to use. I'm not sure. Maybe you use this. Maybe when we lose some cards, it might be something. It's only good to use this in the beginning, and then later on, if you manage to save it, retreat, or survive, then you can use the GX attack. But running multiple of this card, I don't see it being very good. But it is a GX card in this set. And next up we have Empoleon. So this is the metal version of Empoleon, the water one. In the beginning I thought this guy was going to be better since it was metal, and it actually might be. The metal and the water Empoleon, they have Aqua Patch, but this being metal has a bunch of other shit, has a resistance to Psychic 2, so this might be a very good Pokemon as well. Same attack, total command. Very, very good. Right. So next up, I guess I should talk about Florges and Sylveon too. So this guy, you can basically flip a coin. If heads, you put an item card to the top of your deck. It's not in your hand, but I guess it's something. Since it's a stage 2, I'm not sure what it's going to do. And it can be immune to Dragon Pokemon if it attacks. So, might be something. Sylveon is better if you're going to use a support fairy Pokemon. This card is pretty interesting. With Wink Wink, your opponent reveals their hand, so you see their hand. You discard a supporter if you find that card, and then you use it. Now this can backfire if you see something like Juniper or Sycamore and you don't want to ditch your hand. So it kind of acts like the Smeargle from Undaunted in the form of an attack, and you discard your opponent's card too. So it might be something as a stage 1. Alright, Xerneas GX. So this Pokemon is definitely a lot better than Yveltal GX. With Overrun is a nice fast attack you can use for any energy. It's going to do 20 damage to the active and 20 on the bench. Aurora Horns, solid attack for 3 energy, 120. And Sanctuary GX is a very good attack. If you manage to do this right, you're going to win. You move all damage counters from each of your Pokemon to your opponent's active Pokemon. So if you have a bunch of hurt guys, you move all that damage to the opponent's active Pokemon, and it's likely going to be dead. Now, it's not as broken. It would have been better if you could move this anywhere in your opponent's field. I thought that's what it did originally. But it's still good. It's very, very nice. Costs more than Yveltal, but it's a good GX attack. This might be a good fairy card to use in fairy decks, I think. Alright. So now we go into the heavy shit. Ultra Necrozma GX. So this is hands down the strongest GX Pokemon in this set. Might be one of the best GX Pokemon and one of the strongest Pokemon I've ever seen. With Photon Geyser, this is like a Rayquaza EX on crack. The best way I can describe it. You discard all basic Psychic Energy from this Pokemon, it's going to do 80 more damage, and it already does 20 damage anyway. So basically, if you discard 3, you're doing 260. You're killing anything. You are going to kill anything. Just discarding 2, you do 180. So already, you don't even need to discard this many. With this and a choice band, you're already getting knockouts on stage 1 GX Pokemon anyway. Very, very powerful. Being Dragon, you won't hit anything for weakness, but that hardly matters. You're going to get one-hit knockouts on anything. Being weak to Fairy is something that can backfire. Gardevoir is powerful. It's going to be able to take advantage of this guy easily. And 190 HP is very good for a basic Pokemon, but Gardevoir doesn't care. It kills things anyway, so with the weakness, it might be something. In Sky Scorching Light GX, you can use this attack only if the total of both players' remaining prize cards is 6 or less. put 6 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon. So match spread damage. This might be an attack that's going to win you the game as well if you time it right. But I mean, usually you're going to kill things in one hit. You might not have a bunch of guys hurt around. So yeah. Okay. Arceus. Arceus Prism. So this is an Ultra Force card, I believe. I could be mistaken. But, or maybe it was a promo and they put it in here. But Arceus Prism, disappointed because this is Arceus, so it should have had more HP. But I guess 160 is good, only one retreat. Prevent all effects of your opponent's attacks except damage to this Pokemon with First Law. And Trinity Star, you can use this attack only if you have Grass, Water, and Lightning Pokemon on your bench. You search your deck for up to 3 basic energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. So this kind of does act like the Arceus from the original Arceus set, the one that grabs energies on your Arceus if you have a full bench of Arceus, different types. So it's going to do damage, and it gives mass energy acceleration to your Pokemon. So you need to have all 3 types, but if you manage to make a deck like this, I mean, you have a Water, Lightning, and Grass guy down, it's powerful. It's going to be a great card to experiment with, all I can say. You only have one though, so it's a Prism card. I'm not sure how reliable it's going to be. Alright, now for the trainers. We got Boney, this girl right here. This is the Zygarde supporter girl. I'm not sure what kind of relation it has with that Pokemon. But basically, if there's a Stadium card in play, you discard that Stadium card, and this turn, Zygarde GX can use its GX attack, even if you already use your GX attack. So this is one of the ways you can use multiple GX attacks from Zygarde at least. I don't think it's going to be that good because it's a supporter. The stadium condition isn't really that difficult, but it is a supporter. And the important thing is that Zygarde GX's attack isn't all that great. It's just 150 for 4 and has that your opponent can't do shit to it with GX Pokemon. But you can play around that effect, honestly. So to try and use this to make that guy invincible, yeah, I don't think it's going to be that good, but who knows? We shall see. It's one of the ways you can use multiple GX attacks, I suppose. Okay, next up we got Crash Awake, and because I know it's not going to show me, we're going to go to Cerebi, like magic. Alright, so Crash Awake, this is an Ultra Forces card as well. It's going to be in this set, and you discard 2 water energy, very specific condition, but you can search your deck for up to any 2 cards and put them into your hand. So this helps you instantly set up for the Aqua Patches. You're ready with that, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be pretty good in Expanded, where there's a lot more combos and shit. You put water energies over there, and it is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I think maybe Blastoise, the Archie's Blastoise, those extreme decks might appreciate this card. Who knows? Actually, maybe not, since you have to discard 2 water energy. But this is definitely a good card. Specific condition, but for water decks, it might be something. You can pick up any 2 cards, put them into your hand. And another Pokemon, well, not Pokemon, but card that does similar shit. We got Diantha 2. And this is a very good supporter as well. Acts kind of like Teammates, but for fairy Pokemon, specific shit. You can only play this card if one of your fairy Pokemon got knocked out during your last turn, and you grab 2 cards from your discard pile, put them into the hand. So it's from the discard pile, not the deck, but it's Teammates style card. I feel like this is going to be a good card in fairy decks, a 1-of. Gives you some good recovery from the discard pile. Good shit. Okay. Alright, fucking next up is going to be Fossil Excavation Map. This is the support fossil card here. So you have the option to search your deck for an identified fossil, put into your hand, or you grab one of those from the discard pile. So it kind of acts like a searching card as a stretcher, recover from the discard pile. So this is a great card. Obviously something that helps fossil Pokemon. So if you're going to use fossil Pokemon, you definitely want this. Play a bunch of these. Helps them very much. Wanted a card like this for fossils for a while. Okay. And next up we got Judge Reprint. It's not like we already have this card, but and it didn't do much, but maybe it might do in this format when the X and Y shit rotates out. Who knows? It's a disruption card. It used to be good. Now it's not really that relevant with N, but each player shuffles his or her hand to the deck and draws 4 cards. Yeah, just thought I'd mention it. And we got Lady. Lady. So this is a good card as well, one of the best supporters if you ask me. It's going to help all these energy acceleration decks, including the Ultra Necrozma GX deck. So basically this is like a double Professor's Ladder supporter. You search your deck for up to 4 basic energy cards, reveal them, put them into your hand. So very, very good for Magnezone. And if you play Expanded, Emboar, Blastos, these kind of decks, it helps them a lot if you ask me. It's going to help out things like Alolan, Ductrio, I guess, maybe, and even Ray Eels, the Malamar deck. So great supporter. It looks very good as well. Kind of reminds me of Lady Outing, but it's just Lady from the X and Y mansion. Very, very nice. Aristocrat blonde chick. Okay, next up, Prism supporter Lysander. So this is a fire kind of support guy, but I'm kind of iffy on it. So for each of your fire Pokemon in play, you put a card from your opponent's discard pile to the Lost Zone. So kind of acts like release, soul release your card. But yeah, so this is going to be able to move Pokemon and trainers, supporters, anything from your opponent's discard pile into the Lost Zone, remove them from play, so to speak. So it can be powerful. If you have a bunch of fire Pokemon, you can remove a bunch of cards. But I'm not sure. I mean, as a one-off, it's good enough. If you played this in a deck, you probably wouldn't play more than one, maybe. It's fire specific. I don't know if there's any good fire prism cards. Maybe when they come out, they'd replace this guy. But if you run this, I mean, it can definitely fuck up some decks like Night March and fuck up decks in other ways, since you can remove puzzles, you can remove, I don't know, like supporters for your opponent's VS Seeker in Expanded. It's better in that regard. So it might be something. Okay, good card, definitely. And next up we got Ultra. Well, we got Lysander Labs, which reminds me. Okay, so this is the Stadium Pokemon Tool cards. Have no effect. Not really that amazing, but reminds me I've missed out an important Pokemon. Not that important, but he's something, I guess. Where are you? Is a fire dude, Pyroar. Okay, so Pyroar. Almost forgot about this guy. This is another decent, good card. Its ability is very good on Nerve. It basically acts like the Omega Barrier Primal Groudon had, Sceptile had, and a bunch of other Pokemon from the Oras trilogy, in that this Pokemon is immune to your opponent's item and supporter card effects. It doesn't. I think the Omega Barrier covered more ground, but this is definitely very good. I don't remember that effect entirely. It ignores item and supporter card effects to this Pokemon, so it won't be disrupted. If it's sitting on the bench, it won't fucking Lysander or Guzma won't work against it. This is the important thing. Now, since it's an ability that can negate it, the Ancient trait was more powerful that way. And Dominating Fangs, its attack isn't that bad. If you have the Lysander Labs, it's going to do 140 for 3, DC compatible. So it might be a nice little anti-meta simple Pokemon to use. So yeah, I almost forgot about this guy. Alright. And now we got some more, well, it's Ultra Beast shit. Ultra Recon Squad. A card that's going to help Ultra Beasts very much. So you can discard up to 2 Ultra Beasts, and you draw 3 cards for each one of them. So obviously if you discard one, it acts like a Charon, like a How, whatever. It's not that good. But if you discard 2, you draw 6, which is perfect. This is excellent draw. Good kind of effect to really match the Team Magma, Team Aqua grunts back in the day and shit. Good little team specific effect. You draw 6 cards and it helps them out. So this is a good card from Ultra Forces coming here. Now the fucked up thing that's going to be even worse though is definitely the beast ring. So this is possibly going to be the biggest card that's going to help Ultra Beast. Man, it's going to make Buzzwole even worse than what it is. So you can only play this card if your opponent has exactly 3 or 4 prize cards remaining, but you can search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards and attach them to one of your Ultra Beasts. So I thought this you could do this immediately, but it seems it has that condition, but it's still very powerful. Uh, you do this, you can power up any Ultra Beast. You can even use this with Ultra Necrozma GX action. I'm pretty sure that's an Ultra Beast as well. So yeah, Malamar deck. But Buzzwole GX can use this. Circuitry, I mean, any fucking Ultra Beast can use this. It's gonna be pretty good, man. Only if you exactly 3 or 4 prize cards remaining, okay. But it's not that great of a condition. It's from the deck, very good. It's gonna help him out. Comes as a secret or two. From Ultra Forces coming in here as well. And I think everything else, I mean, yeah, we got Palkia, we got Dialga. I guess I didn't talk about Dialga. Dialga comes in this set too. It's basically the Dialga from Ultra Prism, but metal version, kind of like Palkia. Uh, it works with metal energy. The other one works with metal energy, so I guess it's just a type. I don't see how much big of a difference it's going to make. The dragon one actually might be better, but this one definitely looks cooler. I like this one, the metal background. I like it more than the dragon background. And Lucario GX is going to be in here too, so you get this guy as a full art and shit, not just from the box. Basically does the same shit as Lucario GX. We got is basically Lucario GX. And basically, I think, oh no, very important card, Mystery Treasure. This card, man. So there's another card that helps Psychic Pokemon and Dragon Pokemon, and it really pushes the Ultra Necrozma GX as a very good deck. Helps it a lot with consistency. So you discard a card from your hand. If you do, search your deck for a Psychic or Dragon Pokemon, put it into your hand. So not only can you get the Malamars this way, you can get your Dragon, Necrozma GX, what have you. Since you discard a card too, it helps with setting up the discard pile with your Psychic energies. You know, you play the Professor's Letter, then you play this, discard an energy, grab your Pokemon. So this helps out that deck a lot. This fucking helps out any deck that uses Psychic or Dragon Pokemon, period. Maybe people are going to use this to grab fucking Tapu Lele now, who knows. It depends, man. If they run a lot of Psychic Pokemon, this is better than Ultra Ball, basically. So another good card. So these are the Ultra Prism cards. I don't think I've missed out anything else. I kind of had to make a couple of takes on this. I think there's a bunch of other cards like, what the hell are you? Enna Porter. Uh, yeah, this doesn't do anything. You can move a special energy from your opponent's Pokemon to another of your opponent's Pokemon. You got the unit energy, FDF. This basically covers colorless, fairy, fighting, and dark. Fighting, dark, and fairy. Yeah, and it acts like the other fucking energies. Yeah, we see an Ultra Prism. And basically, that's it. I mean, what else do we have? Do we have anything else? Yeah, Pokemon Catcher, you got Switch, a few reprint shits, but that's basically the set, guys. Forbidden Light mixed with a bunch of cards from Ultra Forces. It's 131 cards. Not exactly small, but it's not as big as Guardians Rising, Burning Shadows, and especially fucking Ultra Prism. It's gonna be a set that shakes up the meta, I feel like. The fucking Malamar GX, Malamar Ultra Necrozma GX is a very real deck. You can get one hit knockouts easy as fuck, man. It's Ray Eels, they bringing it back. It should be good. Fighting Pokemon are getting very strong with Diancie, and since Buzzwole GX can also utilize the fucking that trainer card Beast Ring, that's gonna help it out too. So added a lot of added value to the metagame. It brings a lot of shit into the table. So we're going to see what happens. I don't think I forgot anything else. This set comes out in less than a week, I think, or in around 1 week. And it has a lot of interesting shits. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys subscribe, leave a like, share this with your friends. Cerebral94, and what's up?